The origins of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War can be traced back to the late 19th century when Jewish immigration to Palestine began to increase, driven by the ideals of the Zionist movement. Theodor Herzl, the founder of modern political Zionism, called for the establishment of a Jewish state in Palestine in his 1896 book, The Jewish State. This vision ignited the hopes of Jews worldwide for a homeland, leading to a steady stream of Jewish immigrants to Palestine. However, this influx of Jewish immigrants was met with resistance and apprehension by the Arab Palestinian population, which had deep historical and cultural ties to the land. As Jewish immigrants purchased land and established settlements, tensions mounted. The demographic shift fueled fears among Arab Palestinians that their land and way of life were under threat. British Mandate in Palestine. To complicate matters further, during this period, Palestine was under British Mandate. The British struggled to navigate the competing demands of Jewish immigrants and Arab Palestinians. Their policies often appeared contradictory and fueled resentment on both sides. The Balfour Declaration of 1917, in which Britain expressed support for the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, was particularly contentious and contributed to Arab anger. Unpartition Plan, 1947. The United Nations proposal to partition Palestine in 1947 was a culmination of international efforts to find a solution to the Palestine question. The plan recommended the division of Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states, with Jerusalem as an international city. It was accepted by Jewish leaders, who saw it as a step toward realizing their dream of statehood. However, it was vehemently rejected by Arab states and Palestinian Arabs, who saw it as an infringement on their rights and sovereignty. Declaration of Israel's Independence. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel. This declaration came on the eve of the expiration of the British Mandate, and it marked a historic moment for the Jewish people. However, it also led to immediate hostilities as neighboring Arab states saw it as a provocation and an affront to their interests. Arab intervention and military operations. The Arab states, including Egypt, Jordan, Syria, and Iraq, responded swiftly by sending their armed forces to support the Palestinian Arabs and counter the establishment of Israel. This marked the official beginning of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. The conflict was characterized by a series of military operations, including the Battle for Jerusalem and the Battle of Haifa, both of which were pivotal engagements. The Battle for Jerusalem. Jerusalem, a city of great religious and cultural significance for Jews, Christians, and Muslims, became a focal point of the conflict. Jewish and Arab forces fought fiercely for control of the city. Ultimately, the Old City of Jerusalem fell under Jordanian control, while the western part of the city came under Israeli sovereignty. This division of Jerusalem would have profound consequences for future conflicts and peace negotiations. Humanitarian consequences. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War had a devastating humanitarian impact. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arabs fled or were expelled from their homes, leading to a refugee crisis that remains unresolved to this day. Similarly, Jewish communities in Arab countries faced persecution and expulsion, further contributing to the displacement and suffering of communities on both sides of the conflict. Armistice agreements. 1949. The war concluded in 1949 with a series of armistice agreements rather than a formal peace treaty. These agreements established the borders of Israel, Jordan, and Egypt. However, they did not lead to a comprehensive resolution of the conflict, leaving the region in a state of simmering tension and paving the way for future confrontations. Key figures. Several key figures played pivotal roles in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. David Ben-Gurion, as Israel's first prime minister, was instrumental in the establishment of the Jewish state. On the Arab side, figures like King Abdullah of Jordan and Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser were central to the Arab League's efforts to combat Israel. Their decisions and actions had significant consequences for the course of the war and its aftermath. Diplomatic efforts and UN Resolution 194. The United Nations passed Resolution 194, affirming the right of Palestinian refugees to return to their homes. This resolution has remained a contentious issue in subsequent peace negotiations and remains a central point of contention in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Legacy and ongoing conflict. The legacy of the 1948 Arab-Israeli War is profound. It laid the foundation for subsequent conflicts in the Middle East, including the Six-Day War in 1967. The war's consequences continue to reverberate through the decades, contributing to the complex and multifaceted challenges facing the region today.